Welcome to the Gamescape, everybody. My name is Jarek, and today we are back in Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous. This is episode 27 of our playthrough. And in our previous episode, we had done a little bit more around the camp. We managed to find Irabeth again, and we showed her the scabbard that we found in the smuggler's den in the Grey Garrison, and that it had her name inscribed on it. And she told us the story about how it had been her family's heirloom sword, but she had had to sell it to pay for a cure for some sickness that Anevia had had. And so she was happy to have the scabbard back, but she was thinking she probably wouldn't be seeing the sword ever again. I'm inclined to disagree. I suspect it's going to show up at some point, so we'll see what happens. We spoke to Leodor, the Inquisitor. He wants us to get him into Darren's family estate so that he can reopen the investigation as to what happened to his family. And unfortunately, that estate is all sealed up with magic, and only Darren can unbind the magic. And so he needs Darren to do that, but he knows that Darren wouldn't do it for him, being an Inquisitor. And even then, once it was open, he wouldn't really be that happy about having an Inquisitor poking around there. So he asked us to get Darren to do it for him. And then he will, basically we'll tell him that we want to see the estate, and he'll come along with us. Leodor will, as just part of our entourage. And once he's inside, then he can do his investigation, and we'll need to follow him around as an independent witness. So that's kind of the plan. So there's that. We spoke to Sociel, the new cleric, and found out kind of what his story was. He wanted us to accompany him to the graveyard, which is where we are now, where his friends and fellow compatriots were being buried after they'd been killed in the temple. And so we agreed to help him on that. And then after that, we ended up going to speak to Darren, as the other asked. Darren was actually going to come to us about returning to his estate. He wanted to have a birthday party for himself, of course. And he thought that the, haunted mansion would be the perfect place to throw a shindig. So we agreed to that. And so we'll be going there at some point as well. And Leodor will, come with us when we go and do his investigation. So that said, after that, we rested a little bit so that we could get some of our will damage that we've taken care of. We're still down a couple of will points on Valric, still one on Woljif as well. So that's okay. We'll get that taken care of. In fact, Sociel actually has some restore spells that we'll probably use before we cut him loose from the party here. But anyway, we ended up coming here to the cemetery as we had promised, and they were having their memorial and saying their goodbyes to the people they're burying, when all of a sudden they started getting up and had been reanimated as zombies and zombie lords. So the civilians that were here ended up fleeing, and that was when we started the fight, and we ended up taking the fight, no problem, and destroyed the zombies again. But at that point, after the fight, Sociel had found that there was a piece of onyx on the ground, and it had the symbol of Baphomet carved into it, and it was broken and it was falling apart. So it had been used apparently to do the reanimation of the zombies, which meant there was a cultist amongst the grievers. And so having all of them having fled, not knowing that they had a traitor amongst them, we decided to take off after them and save them from what was coming to them next. And so a few fights later, and a few ladders up and down later to get around the bulk of their force, we found the cultists over here in this, what's left of this temple. And we had a fight down in here and ended up getting the necromancer along with all of his guys killed. The necromancer surrendered, and he did so because he knew that Sociel's goddess requires them to accept surrenders and to not kill, the surrendering person, instead try to convert them, away from their evil deeds and, show them the light and so on. And he was deliberately using that against Sociel. He had spent time with them. They'd healed him from a, dog mauling him, and he had, listened to their sermons and basically learned everything there was to know about them. And then he turned around and started using that against him to try and weasel his way out of the trouble that he was in. Sociel, we managed to talk him down. Sociel was beating the heck out of him. And I was not overly enthusiastic about stopping him, but we did. And then basically, as the commander of the army, kind of fell to our hands to figure out what was going to happen. So we just decided to go ahead and pass judgment right then. And Valric killed the guy for his crimes. And that was the end of that. He wasn't really expecting that. He was expecting to get out of this, I think. So he was obviously very non-repentant. He was obviously abusing the faith of the cleric. And, obviously he was a necromancer who was reanimating zombies and skeletons to hurt people. So I wasn't feeling particularly merciful or benevolent at that point. So that is where we left off. They actually came back, the civilians did. They've reburied the dead, and now we are ready to move on. So let's gather our party here. We still haven't figured out a mythic path. I think what I'm going to do with him is I'm just going to go with abundant casting for him so that he gets extra spells of levels 1, 2, and 3. This gives him 4 extra spells of each level. So we're going to call that good, and that'll give him a ton of spells that he can cast. And he needs to have more healing because he is not helping us. I mean, he's helping us a lot with his buffs, obviously, but more healing is really what you need. A lot of it seems like, because we do take hits even with buffs and debuffs and whatnot. So we're going to go ahead and get him loaded up here with his spells. And we're just going to probably fill him up with extra cure spells on top of what he's already got. And just call that good. So that's what we're going to do with that. And that is that solved. So party, ready to go. Let's get out of here. Okay, anything we missed? We want that. Bunch of shields that we left behind. A couple more swords that we left. This is a composite. It is. That's worth 100 as well. That's fine. The rest of that we don't really care about. Okay, on the world map, we are heading back. Okay, we are going to enter into the camp because I think I want to drop off Sociel now that we've done his camp, and I want to pick Ember back up. And we might rest as well for a day because we do still, like I said, we still have some wisdom damage and stuff that we need to heal. So we're going to do that. And I think we're going to get on the road next. We'll hit up this campsite and deal with that. Okay, here we are back in camp. Camellia. Anything new with her? What do you think of the powers you received from me? That's a little presumptuous, I think. I don't know if they received them from us exactly. Camellia shrugs nonchalantly. People of noble descent grow accustomed to ample opportunity. The powers I received from you are useful, but I see no point in treating them with excessive piety. All right. Yeah, that's about right. All right. Talk to you later. I won't keep you. All right. Orgus. Oh. What do we got here? Messenger. A message for the commander. A knight in simple armor lowers his voice. I am the queen's bodyguard. She sent me to tell you she's arrived at camp incognito as planned. You can find her where the minor knightly orders are encamped. Come if you wish to speak to her. Well, tell her I will come at once. Certainly. All right. That, I think, is over here. Yes, Queen Galfrey's over here. Okay. Well, let's come see the queen. And there she is. Queen Galfrey nods at you cordially. Her armor is plain and unadorned. As promised, I entered the ranks incognito along with a few bodyguards. I've introduced myself as Kitrain, an old friend of yours. I'm a knight of a minor order, the Green Crows. We shall see how long it takes Enevia to sniff me out, the queen chuckles. So why did you decide to join us after all? Ah, because I have a curious mind and I'm quite unable to sit and do nothing for long. The queen smiles, but then grows serious. You ask a difficult question. I must remain as safe as possible. My death or abduction would sow chaos among our forces. However, I am not a queen. I am not only a queen, I am also a paladin of Iomade. It is not in my nature to sit in a palace with my sword sheathed. In a manner of speaking, your request was simply a convenient excuse for me to be where I belong, crusading against the demon hordes. Besides, I am curious to see my new knight commander in action. I have a question for you as well. Why did you wish me to join you on the crusade? Good question. I wanted to know you better. Surely you know how intriguing you are. Oh, enough, Commander. The queen scoffs with a smile. Everything that I could possibly be known about me has been written in the chronicles and notarized. Well, may I ask you a personal question? I've learned so much about Queen Galfrey from chronicles and legends, but what about the other Queen Galfrey, the one that the historians and bards cannot see? The queen smiles faintly. That Galfrey is an old woman, weighed down by great burden, but she has not lost her passion, and she will make the feathers fly when the time comes. Well, oh, we could hit on her, or we could just take the, safe and, what would you say, deferential answer, I suppose. Mendev is lucky to have such a queen, and I am twice as lucky, for she has agreed to fight by my side. Galfrey arches her eyebrow. Strange, you say agreed to fight by my side, but what I hear is agreed to go on a date with me. Well, I mean, you brought it up. That's all I'm saying. Do you really think you're the first person to attempt to charm me with such words? You are not. If you want to impress me, you'll need to do better than that. Well, hey, you know what? I mean, I didn't say I was the first. So how does it feel living for so long beyond natural limits? You're over 100 years old, my queen, aren't you? I understand why you ask. Humans share this world with races whose life expectancy is much longer than ours. When I was young, I also used to ask every elf or dwarf I met how it felt to live 100 years. I shall answer thus. The decision to prolong my life was not mine. It was the decision of the Church of Iomade. The sun orchid elixirs have been paid for by the church. The priests determined that I was needed in these dark times, both as a ruler and as a chosen paladin of Iomade. I accepted their decision and the great responsibility it entails. So why did you entrust me with Darren, exactly? The queen smiles. I saw a wonderful opportunity to teach the count a lesson and just couldn't resist. Honestly, I expected you to dismiss him forthwith. The count could have been forced to return to court, a laughingstock. It would have been a truly sobering experience. There is nothing more disgraceful for a Mendevian nobleman than to be discharged like that. Darren Arende, the queen shakes her head. He was such a lovely child. His mother, Lady Selania, was one of the most gracious people I've ever met. She was amiable yet decorous and truly kind. Bonds of kinship among the nobility are on the whole highly practical and only useful for forming alliances. But Countess Arende managed to become a true member of my family. I suppose that is why I spent so much time believing her son to be a better person than he actually was. His company is a heavy burden. Still, I must admit that I'm quite pleased that you decided to keep him on as a companion. There is a small chance that once he has had a true taste for the Crusader's life, the Count will finally cease to mock the Crusaders as cynically as he is wont to do. So why did you give the army title of Knight Commander to a stranger? Because for 100 years I've protected my lands, trying to drive the demon horde back into the abyss. I've tried every right and rational method. The queen affords herself a brief, grim smirk. My armies have been led by the greatest generals, even Iomede's angels. My goddess's herald created the ward stones for us. We have tasted victory more than once, but we have failed to close the world wound. As for you, do not call yourself a stranger. You are the savior of Canabras. Hundreds of its people saw the power that descended upon you and turned the demons to dust. It's a sign they've waited for decades. A sign for all loyal hearts and followers of Iomade. The time has come. Hope has been rekindled in the hearts of my subjects thanks to you. Hope is a priceless resource. I had no choice but to give it wings. Well, you called it a sign they've been waiting for, but I take it you're reserving judgment? Your question seems to catch the queen off balance. A strange spark flashes in her eyes. When Aroden perished and Iomade took over his legacy, I was among the first to serve the new goddess. I helped restore her church from the ashes left by the chaos after Aroden's death. Since then, I've served the inheritor loyally and truthfully. I like to believe that I've earned the blessing of my goddess. The queen's voice is surprisingly ardent. After I learned of what happened in Canabras, when I met you at the Defender's Heart, I had so many questions. Is it true that what happened was Iomade's work? Why did she give this power to someone unknown rather than to one of her most loyal followers? Could it be that my faith has grown weak and I don't recognize the deeds of my goddess even when they're happening right in front of me? Is the goddess somehow testing me? Those doubts were like poison. But I refuse to let them poison me, the queen finishes strongly. I gave you an army, declared you knight commander, and accepted you as I would anyone chosen by the goddess. Okay, well, you know, think about that date. I gotta go for now, though, things to do. Don't forget, here I am, Katrain, knight. All right. And that is going to get us done here. We can get to the blacksmith and sell off all those blades we just picked up if I can find him again. He's right in the middle of the camp. Here we go. Here we go. Over here. Wilser Garms. Oh, that was an elf. Okay. The bearded quartermaster gives you a friendly nod. What can I do for you? Yeah, show me what you... I saw you talking to the girl hiding her face. Who was she and what did she want? I don't know, Commander. She never introduced herself, but I bet she's not part of our army. I know all our soldiers by name and by sight. Wilser frowns gloomily, his cordiality gone in an instant. She was looking for some elf volunteer. Wanted to know which tent he was sleeping in. At first I thought she was a messenger from Mendev. She definitely wasn't one of us. But now I see how it all looks mighty shifty. The quartermaster eyes you with concerns. She was some sort of spy then. Maybe. All right, well, show me what you got. Actually, I've got stuff for you. All right. We need a glaive. Because apparently that's the only weapon Social can use besides simple weapons. All right, let's sort these. Glaive +1, 2400. It's a bit, but doesn't hurt for everybody to have a magic weapon. This is 1900 here that we're going to get. Okay, no, keep that. I'm going to re-equip the party with bludgeoning weapons too, so that everybody's got at least one slicing and one bludgeoning weapon, I think. Because you can't do it in the middle of the fight, obviously, so... yeah, I wish this was a bigger weapon than it is. D6 isn't the best, maybe, but... anyway, there's those. Any bulk selling we can do? A little bit. Not much. I still need to get rid of those heads. Interesting that they just showed up, though. Assuming we'll figure that out at some point. Is this useful to us? It might be if we get the right person. I don't think we need half plate. We have magical half plate. Sell that. I really don't think we need this either. Let's get rid of this. We've been carrying that around since the very beginning of the game. We got that because we have the blacksmith background. And I knew at some point it might come in useful as a bludgeoning weapon, but you know, we're kind of moved on beyond just cold iron weapons at this point. Although, really, I mean, it wouldn't hurt actually to have him equip it so he can switch to it. Valric, that is. Maybe we'll keep it and just use it because there's not really much else for bludgeoning weapons here. Got, what, a halberd? Oh, Bardage. Deals an additional +1 cold iron Bardage confirms a critical hit. It deals an additional 1 damage to Constitution. Okay. That's fine. What's he got for armor? Shields. Ooh. 18,000 for adamantine full plate. This is medium armor. This wouldn't be too bad for Social. I think he can use it. Yeah, he could use it. And it's not that expensive. We'll grab that for him. That's 5 armor class with 3 decks. This is 7 armor class with 1. We'll do that. And let's make this deal. And then let's get him that stuff. Social, you get this. This one, breastplate. There you go. That looks a little closer to your picture. Then you get your new glaive. Looks good. That's better. All right. Valric, you've got an open weapon slot. You're going to have your hammer in that open weapon slot just so that you can deal with that. Purple stone knife. Oh, this is the dagger. This is the one that was used against the wardstone. +1 dagger adds +1 to the damage difficulty class of saving throws against spells from the evocation school the wielder casts. We might have to give that to one of our actual casters. Like maybe Ember. I don't know. I don't know what she's casting, if it's evocation or what she gets, but let's have a look and see. Yeah, she does like burning hands. What is Scorching Ray? It is evocation. Do they get saving throws? I don't remember with her mythic path. Your mythic power now allows you to bypass damage reduction. Okay, that's right. So there's that. Send up fire. Choose the damage type of that energy type you deal is no longer prevented or reduced by energy resistances or energy immunities. This bonus works on any, so they can still save against it. So maybe that's a good thing for her to have. So maybe we just give her that. Not that she, not that it's really a great weapon for her necessarily to actually use, but at least she's got a weapon too if she needs it. So that's fine. All right, looks good there. That's all done. Let's rest. Okay, we're going to continue to try and make the glowing croissant. Not a high percentage chance. We need a 15 or better on a D20. So isn't super likely to happen, but we have about a 25% chance. So that's fine. We're going to make another scroll of displacement, and we're going to, oh, you know, before we do this, oh, too late. All right. So something new's going on here. The commander becomes host to an anomalous force, and his dreams are filled with strange visions. He feels the space around him distort, and his sensory organs are flooded by false images, bred by distortions of light and air. Reality itself tries to expel the commander into some dark tunnel. At the other end, a grim figure awaits. His body resists this crude attempt to wrench it from reality, but an unknown force finds a tangle in the commander's soul, one made of demonic rage and destructive desire. The stranger grabs at it and pulls like a hunter reeling in a harpoon. Troubled by the sudden intrusion, the dark and ominous force deep in the commander's soul answers with a menacing growl. The commander is going to try to understand what's going on. Maybe. That's not a very good chance. That's not a very good chance either. Well, we'll give it a try and see if we can stare intently at the ghostly figure, I guess. Oh, we've succeeded. Wow. The darkness conceals the stranger's appearance, but nothing can be glimpsed. The massive set of bull's horns crowning a head, the tips glinting malevolently. Well, that would be Baphomet then. Let's see if we can get it twice here. 18 is what we need. Made it. Succeeded a knowledge check. Must be using the party as well and their bonuses. He needs a moment to figure it out. The commander is being summoned, transported through space by some magical force. However, the attempt did not succeed because the commander is not a spirit or demon, but a mortal human. The commander is surprised that this spell worked on him at all. He uses every effort to suppress the tangle of rage in his soul, which mysterious powers latched onto. Or we could unleash the dark and unbridled part of his soul. Nah, I don't think that's a good idea. We'll do that one. By force of will, the commander pushes his anger down as deep as his soul as he can. The attraction rapidly weakens in response, as if the mysterious enemy could no longer sense the commander and concentrate his efforts on him. The apparition recedes, leaving the commander wondering whether it was reality or a nightmare. Okay, I was going to... I don't know if I can do this, but let's see if... Yeah, see, he can't cast his spells right now. Should have done that while we were in the graveyard, I suppose. All right, well, that's all right. Let's just get some rest, and we're going to do the things, and we're going to rest. Talking to you confuses me sometimes. It seems like every word out of my mouth offends you. How about this for a great idea, then? Maybe you should just stop talking. Okay, hey, we got it. No, we didn't get it. Never mind. We rolled a 2. Needed a 15 or better. All right, no worries. All right, we have probably one left. And we're going to keep moving on here. I'm going to replace you with Ember again, because I have a good feel of how this party's working together. Okay, and we're going to start heading towards the Houndheart campsite. This way doesn't get us there, so we probably have to go this way. Someone on the road, get ready. All right, magical anomalies are common in the world of Golarion, so common that the use of the word anomaly itself is questionable. A regular city dweller will encounter a chaotic manifestation of supernatural power at least once in their lifetime. One might naturally assume that the strange sky, a ghostly fire from the rifts in the ground, the rain of eyeballs, all that the world wound is known for, should find some purchase in the mortal mind. But even the most worldly of travelers feel uneasy at its borders. Why? perhaps instinctively they understand that this place is not merely a magical wasteland, but a wound, an ulcer through which the world itself bleeds into the abyss. The commander and his army walk up the high bank of the West Sellen River, where it draws near to the border of the world wound. The soldiers' feet halt unbidden. On the other bank rises a series of cliffs, too regular in shape to have been formed by wind or water. The sky hangs over the sharp edges of the sickening bends, the shade of mercury on the horizon rising to dirty rust as it arches above the soldiers' heads. It regains its familiar azure hue. Okay, we're going to address the soldiers and boost their morale. Succeed in a diplomacy check. Establishing rapport with the troops is yet another battle that a leader must face. Through the subtle alchemy of words, one can win trust and raise morale or lose faith and authority. Addressing the army on the border of the world wound, the commander seeks to establish himself as a military leader on his new battleground. And his efforts prove fruitful. The soldiers listen dutifully, smiles appearing on their faces. Someone in the ranks jokes that the demons are growing tired of waiting for them. The army keeps moving. Lines of soldiers step warily beneath the shroud of low black clouds. It's like the world wound has reached out a finger into the lands of Mendev. The gesture seems eerily harmless, but then the clouds come to life, shooting out howling tornadoes, one after another. The tornadoes come from all sides, from ahead, behind, right above the soldiers' heads. The power of the elements on one side of the scales, the soldiers' faith and inspiration on the other. It's plain to see which is greater. The determined army runs the gauntlet of tornadoes. The struggle lasts over half an hour, but the army's only losses are a few bags of supplies and a dozen hats wrapped. It doesn't scroll very nicely there. And a dozen hats wrapped up on the sky. After stopping to catch their breath, the soldiers continue on. Their first encounter with the world wound has ended in their favor. Okay, continue moving. Okay, now we can go down here. So this is the Houndheart campsite. This is Elin the Knight, so Sila's friend. This is their campsite, where he lost his engagement ring. All right, here we are.
Now, what is that?
Okay, take some stuff here. Sela says, "We're finally here. Elin and Curl must be around here somewhere. And Jana, too, if they gave her permission to leave." Ah, there they are. Elin to the Houndhearts. "Greetings, Sela, and greetings to you, Knight Commander." Sir Elin puts his hands behind his back and bows slightly. Then he casts an inquisitive glance at you. He seems less friendly than he was the day you met at the Defender's Heart. Gianna puts her hands on her hips. She looks even more dashing than usual. Elin is feeling a little shy. He thought he asked for help from a couple of nobodies like us, but now you've turned into the saviors of Canabras, knights of the Fifth Crusade, marked by Iomede's blessing. And you still came to help him dig through a pile of junk. Sela frowns a little. "Let's not talk about it. I assure you, I'm the same Sela, your friend from the League of the Cart. Now, we came here to help you look for Elin's ring. By the way, where's Curl?" "He didn't come with us. He said an old wound was acting up." "All right, my friends, since we're here, let's finish this mission quickly. I really don't feel comfortable bothering the Knight Commander with my personal problems." Ember says, "I'm glad we're here to help you, Elin. I hope everything works out perfectly for your wedding, too. I love weddings so much. They're full of joy and new beginnings. But I haven't been to any yet. Can I come?" "Of course, Lady Ember. Let's hope my bride doesn't run away from the bungler who managed to lose the ring he bought for her." "All right, well, what's this ring look like? Where should we look?" "Last time I saw the ring, it was with my things in my traveling chest. Now the camp's in total disarray. I don't know how we'll ever find it. The ring's made of a shiny silver metal with a deep blue-green jewel. You can't miss it. Master Derek is not just a jeweler. He's an artist. There's no mistaking one of his creations." Sounds delightful, Camellia says. I wish I possessed one of Master Derek's fine works. I've seen them from afar, worn by visitors of to the Gwyrm mansion, but I've never held one before. I was never allowed to approach important guests. I'm not one for florid compliments, my lady, but I suspect the master would happily give you one of his works as a gift. He does that from time to time when he meets someone whose beauty inspires him. Thank you, sir. Camellia lowers her lashes demurely. A trinket worth several months' pay, Elin? The rules on the surface are insane. You should give your girls fried rats like we do. You'll save yourself a lot of trouble. Is there something wrong, Elin? Am I making you nervous? The young knight is obviously embarrassed. I apologize. Jana is right. Much has changed since we met in Canabras. Some things for the better. Some things for the better. Some, not all. Some not at all. He stopped short, apparently unwilling to elaborate. All right. Well, let's do this. Jana and I will look around the northern side and see if you can find something. We'll see you when we find something or when we give up trying. Got some deer. Some things to look at here. Torn flag of the Houndhearts, a small but noble order of crusaders. The ground is trampled, and there are signs of battle everywhere. The Houndhearts were clearly attacked by demons here. Loot. Oh, okay. You have to run all the way around there, really? There's another glaive. Animal hide, we'll take that and that and that. We definitely want that. I don't think we need the glaive. It's not worth anything. Okay. What's this? Metal shard of a ring. Melted shard of a ring. This item bears a trace of lost power. It seems you found a shard of a destroyed artifact. If you find all the fragments, an artisan with enough skill could restore it for you. Okay. Some more stuff. More stuff. Don't need the shield. Uh-oh. A small quasit demon emerges from the chest. It looks at you angrily, screwing up its ugly little face. It's holding a shiny object in its paws, a sparkling silver ring with the large blue-green jewel. It's mine! Mine! Elin, look! Look at that creepy thing. What's it holding? I've seen one of those before. These small demons like to tease and bully, but it'll bolt if it senses any real threat. Let's surround it and attack it all together before it can figure out what's happening. Color spray. Mine! The quasit throws its paws in the air and splashes you with beams of color. You hear insolent giggling. The demon is jumping up and down, throwing the ring into the air and catching it. Mine! Mine! Elin! Jana! Sela glances at her friends and turns to you. They're all right. They'll come around soon. Quickly, Valric. Let's catch that little rascal before it runs off with the ring. Too late. Oh, there he is over here.
What do we have here?
Grab all that. Still running. Came this way. Here he is over here. Come and get me. You're too... what is it? Come and get me. You're too slow. It's fun to play. Yeah, loving this. Oh, what do we got here? Hat of the Heartening Song. Whenever the wearer of this hat uses any song, this song also grants fast healing 1 at level 1, fast healing 2 at level 5, and increasing by 1 point every 4 levels thereafter. Useful if we had a bard. Okay, or a skald. Either one would be okay. What's this? The tent is different from the rest. Strong burnt smell around it. This tent is different from the rest. There's a strong burnt smell around it and a rustling sound coming from within. Okay. This tent has been cut open from the inside. The knights apparently left in a hurry.
I hope you appreciate
Okay,
this.
get some stuff here. All right, that little... Oh, there's a thing down here. We'll have to check that out too. All right. Oh, here we go. Oh. Give me the ring, you scoundrel. Okay, so Curl just took the ring from the closet, it looks like. Before Elin manages to get to the closet, the halfling Curl appears right next to it, quite out of nowhere. He snatches the ring from the demon's paws. You mustn't get it. Curl, what are you? And then Curl's gone, I think. Oh, Sheila just got in the way. And now Curl's leaving. Thrusting herself between Elin and Curl, Sheila barely managed to absorb the blow aimed at the halfling. Elin, stop! Have you gone mad? He's using a summon spell. Why did you stop? Some lovely praise just stepped into my trap. Oh, and then there goes Jana, it looks like. Get ready, we're on our own now. Yeah, Jana. She just fled. Okay, what do we got? A couple of babaos. It's enough. They're tough customers. Okay, no, you are not casting that spell.
Distract them from me.
Oh, we have a babao right here too.
Time to share your
What
treasures.
is it with this laughing spell that he loves so much? Give me the knife. There we go.
Cover me, all right?
Okay, Lan, why don't you keep working on him too?
You crossed the wrong mongrel.
All right, Ember. You, my dear, can use Scorching Ray on these guys because they are not immune to your Scorching Rays. Oh, apparently he still has spell resistance, though. Okay, that's good to know. Sela.
No glory without risk.
Okay, Trip, see if you can knock him down. Nope. Valric, you're going to kill this guy here. Or you could miss a 7. Okay, Camellia. What do we want from you? What you got here? I don't think Stinking Cloud's going to work on these guys. Let's have a Bull Strength on Valric. Okay, Aura. Missed a 6. Bulljiff. Keep stabbing.
Stab you or zap you? Why not both?
Okay, couple of good sneak attacks. Closet's down.
You won't survive
Just
me.
a couple of 10s. Ember, what else you got in the tank here? Let's have -2 attack rolls, maybe. Or you could try to put one to sleep. Oh, he got him. Nice. Okay, Sela, keep hitting this guy.
Into the fray.
Okay. And Trip. Missed an 8. Valric, you can move to here. And you can do a cleave and hit both of these guys. Okay, Camellia. Let's have a little magic weapon and
You are today's sacrifice.
a little charge there. Critical hit for an 11. Aura. He's down. Woljif. Help out
Distract him
here.
for me.
Okay, Lan.
Endure this.
Ember, can you put him down too? Nope. He made a save. That's okay. Got one. That's good. Ooh, ouch. Yikes. Okay, Sela.
Right, take you.
Okay, good. Trip. See if you can knock him down again. Okay, cleave. Got them both. Boy, he's just brutal with that great sword. All right, this is Sela talking. Elin, what were you doing? You nearly cut down Curl without a second thought, without a trial, without even knowing if he was responsible for all this. He might be a victim himself. What am I doing? He lured us into a trap. Curl's the only one who knew where we were going. He knew we thought there wouldn't be anyone at the camp besides some small harmless demons, so he set a trap. I wouldn't be surprised if his demon masters had him targeting the commander from the start. Talk about believing in the redemption of scoundrels, Elin scoffs. We barely know anything about what happened. Curl is a good lad. He's not a spy or a murderer. Maybe they threatened him, tricked him, or even bewitched him with demon magic. And now we'll never know because you let him escape. Better to let a thief escape than to cut down an innocent. All right, Elin, think about it. Sela's defending someone she thought was her friend, and she stopped you from doing something you might regret. I don't need a shepherd to light my path and save me from regrets. Can you say the same, Sela? Or you, Commander? You clearly have something to say. Go ahead then, spit it out. Sela, I didn't want to say this, but I think of you as my friend, so I'm going to warn you. After what happened to the Grey Garrison, you're in serious danger. And maybe not just you. You might like to ignore military hierarchy and the rules of knightly orders, but there's wisdom in them that has stood the test of time. A soldier rises from a private to an officer. A knight begins as a squire. Even Iomede's paladins gain their abilities gradually. But not with you and the commander. You are granted incredible powers, far surpassing seasoned paladins with experience and skill far beyond your years. You received this gift at just the right moment and saved a lot of lives across Mendev. That's a great deed that will be remembered for ages to come. But what happened next was wrong. They began to worship you. The Queen gave you such vast power, all while you sidestepped everything, training, experience, hardship. This is not the first time Her Majesty was behaved rashly, and how much good has she brought Mendev? I'm frightened by what I see, especially the way that you, Sela, trust people so easily and leap to the adventures without looking. One day, you'll lower your sword when you should have driven the blade home, just like thousands of bright-eyed youngsters will after you. Elin pauses, as if reluctant to continue, then he looks you in the eye. I wanted to tell you the same thing, Commander. So I am an incompetent leader who never earned my position? Elin looks right at you with his clear blue eyes. Bear me no grudge, Commander. I'm not so ungrateful as to forget what you did for Canabras, and how you agreed to help me. I said it to Sela, and I'll say it again. This wasn't a reproach, but a warning. The power you've been given, it may be your undoing, and the undoing of all the Crusaders along with you. In any case, forgive me for wasting your time and subjecting you to danger here. Now at least we know Curl is a traitor, and Janna is a coward ready to abandon her friends when the going gets rough. I hope we'll learn a lesson from all of these mistakes. As for that blasted ring, to hell with it. Kiana won't love me solely for the gifts I bring her. Elin makes no attempt to conceal his disappointment. Nodding goodbye, he lowers his head and walks away. Sela watches as he leaves, her pensive eyes filled with a sadness. Everything's become very complicated all of a sudden. Please, Valric, let's go back, and I'd like to talk to you about it later. I have a lot to think about. All right. Well, we're not done searching here yet.
Time to share your treasures.
Babaus generally don't have a ton of useful stuff. We'll take that. These are just junk spears. Yep. There's this. We'll take all that. And then there's something over here that we can climb down.
Pretty good, aren't I?
What do we got down here?
Can't hide from me.
All right, what do we got? I got a heavy shield. 4 armor class. It's a +2 shield. Nice. And a couple of healing potions. Very nice. I think that's all. Looks like that's all that's down here. Okay. Anything we missed over here? I think we got everything. Let's check the tent.
Save the last one for me.
Huh. This is new. Oh, a couple of brimaracks. Okay, well, let's cleave them. Good hits, both. Critical hit, knocked him down, killed him. Camellia, could you just stab him?
Go for their heart.
No, of course not. Aura. Land, shoot
Every
him.
strike count.
Okay. Thought he was dead. We'll just finish him up.
Cover me, all right?
Okay. These are just junk swords. Okay, there we go. I think that's everything. I think there was an exit over here. Yep. Oh, something else. Oh, nice. Potions of mage armor. Got a diamond. Oh, shining scale. Don't need the loot. Don't need the mace. The flail. All right, let's get out of here. Okay, quick look. Make sure we didn't lose anything. Got a ring of protection. Just a gold ring, it looked like. All right, we're out. Okay, guys, we are getting up on an hour here. I think we need to head back to the camp, right? Sela wants to talk. Obviously, we need to keep going this way. So we're pushing towards, well, here's the Nameless Ruins. Heaven's Edge, that's the, that's Darren's estate. And then we're pushing towards Dresden. We've got a couple of, yeah, this is a couple of, forts along the way. I don't think we can just sneak past these. These guys we might be able to sneak past. So we're going to have to get our army. So let's travel there. And Sela wants to talk. We can do that real quick. Okay. Here we are. Sela is up here somewhere. Where's Sela? Oh, that's right. She's over here. Sela looks sad and pensive. It's good to see you. Get this, Jana, the one who ran away when we were attacked by demons, never went back to her unit. She was seen running towards Numeria. Looks like she deserted. Anyway, that's not what I wanted to talk about, or not the only thing. Since our raid on the Houndheart's camp, I've had this sinking feeling that I made a mistake, dragging you into this, I mean. I should have known that a raid along the edge of the world wound wouldn't be so easy. But mostly, I was wrong about a lot of people. About Jana, who lost her nerve and abandoned her friends. About Curl. I knew he was a thief, but I really thought he'd turned over a new leaf and deserved a little compassion and trust. And Elin. I thought we were kindred spirits, friends through thick and thin, but it looks like I was wrong about him too. Sela looks at you closely, waiting for an answer. Okay. Don't lose your trust in people, Sela. So what if you made a few mistakes? It's no reason to give up on your ideals. Someone has to show people that there's a better path. Sela's expression brightens. Thank you, my friend. I needed that support. Thanks for listening to my grumbling and for helping me to get to the bottom of this. I'm not going to leave things as they stand. If I get the chance, I'll track down Jana and see if I can talk some sense into her and find out why Curl did what he did. I can't stop thinking about what Elin told me in the end. I really have become more powerful than paladins who are far more experienced and selfless than me. There's something not right about it. A servant of Iomedae should gain their powers through dedicated personal effort. It's the only way to make sure they'll use the power for good. Our journey so far, it's all wrong, and it means I need to be 3 times as hard on myself now. Well, so here's the thing. It's like that power apparently came from my Iomedae, so I don't really think that there's too much to worry about as far as that goes. I mean, it's not like we stole the power, right? So it was granted to us, so that's how it is. Wow. He was really close to being down. All right. We're going to rest up one more time because we need to do a little healing. And then I think maybe in the next episode, we are going to start moving north towards the city.
So many years wasted. So many good people perished. And there's still no end to this war.
Praise the goddess, we'll end it. Once and for all.
Okay. Okay, we got our scroll. All right, guys, and that is going to do it for this episode because we're right up on an hour here. So if you've enjoyed this episode, do me a big favor, hit that like button. And if you haven't already, please consider subscribing to my channel. And we'll see you guys in the next episode. Thanks for watching.